introduce Dr. James Daniels, who has been selected by the faculty and is past president of the District Faculty Senate. My apologies for getting there.
That's okay. Mr. Chairman, the faculty at Edison State College thank the board for this opportunity to bring the concerns to it that led to this vote of no confidence. You're being handed a document that lists most of those concerns. As mentioned, my name is James Daniels, and I'm a math professor at Collier County campus, and I've been asked to represent the faculty in this presentation. So I'm going to read or touch on, at times, some of these points that you have listed. The faculty considered these points as things that were adverse to the college's interests. First, the unilateral hiring of Dr. Browder as Vice President of Operations without a search, which deviated from customary procedures. And his subsequent expansion into an academic role without any faculty input. It did not seem like transparency to us. The sudden resignation of Dr. Noreen Thomas in the presence of a non-disclosure clause in her termination of employment agreement. That precluded us from finding out any of the circumstances under which Dr. Thomas resigned. Dr. Thomas resigned at the same time Dr. Browder was hired. The sudden unexplained resignation of Dr. Steve Atkins, who was in charge of the college's reaffirmation of accreditation and the chair of several committees responsible for and spearheading our preparation for the SACS visit. This is the year that the SACS committee comes and visits Edison to either reaffirm its accreditation or to deny its accreditation. The faculty considered that a significant blow and very dangerous because he was the man that had been in charge of this for several years, and all of a sudden he was gone. Dr. Atkins said in the news that there were problems at the college that could not be fixed by this administration. The sudden transfer of Dr. James Martin from the Lee campus to the Collier campus. Dr. Martin was hired after a year-long search, but was only on the Lee campus for his reassignment for a few months. In a meeting at the Collier campus, Dr. Martin told me and other colleagues that he was transferred for budgetary reasons. A very serious result was the improper substitution of courses for required courses to permit students to meet mandatory hourly requirements to graduate. That means that some of these students did not have the necessary courses as described and needed for them to receive their diploma. I do not know the status of those diplomas as to whether they are valid or not. The practice of discrimination in hiring. Dr. Browder is quoted as saying the college has had bad luck with out-of-state African-American candidates. He did not want to move forward with the hiring of Vivian Lilly. And after this came up, months later, he said there was trouble checking references and hired her at that point. In my experience, this reference can be checked in a matter of a couple of days. The article, the lack of shared governance on our campus and in the college, which is part of SACS, the accrediting organization's guidelines, and important to the reaffirmation of accreditation. For example, Dr. Browder is taking over academic responsibilities without faculty input. And then there's an article in the Chronicle in which Dr. Walker states, and this was after our meeting that he referred to, where he met with us and we presented him our statement of concerns. He said in the Chronicle that this was the faculty, whoever was involved in orchestrating all this stuff for the media, never came to me with anything. I have the dates of 4 meetings, if you want to hear them, where these things were brought to his attention, and the people who were at the meetings too. As far as our compliance with our promise not to take a vote of good faith, there was a meeting before that meeting. It was an informal meeting with Dr. Walker and the presidents of the campuses. And Dr. Walker said at that meeting that he would ask Dr. Browder to look for a job elsewhere. So Dr. Browder would look for that job elsewhere for 30 days. And then at that time, if he could not find one, the matter would be taken up with the board because of contractual issues. That wasn't done. Immediately, a job was created for him at Edison to keep him on. Faculty did not think that that was good faith. The faculty did not think that it was good faith to turn around after that meeting and marginalize us by stating in the Chronicle of Education that it was just a group of faculty trying to orchestrate something and I guess in a sense cause trouble. Those were the things that made us reconsider whether Dr. Walker had the intent or was able to carry through or understand the significance of the matters that the faculty had brought to his attention. And in essence, that's what was the subject of the vote of no confidence. Dr. Walker's salary and perks were a matter of concern. He represents himself as a quote-unquote servant leader while receiving an extraordinarily large salary. When, as you said, Mr. Chairman, there is a time of very little money. Dr. Walker's salary is paid for by student fees in part, and of course by taxpayer money. Dr. Browder's salary was increased a very significant amount after he was there 2 or 3 months. It was an annual increase after 2 or 3 months. The faculty did not understand that either. The creation of a hostile work environment such that faculty work under a constant state of fear of retaliation. As a matter of fact, if you read the press articles, you'll find that the administrators themselves, some of them, work under a constant fear of retaliation. That's stated quite plainly in the news press. I don't care to identify people, but if you wish to look that up, you can find it. The faculty at Edison College care about the education and well-being of our students. As professionals, we believe that we just could not stand by and watch the college implode. We teach to prepare our students for the future, and we ask that the board place the students first and foremost, because our students really deserve nothing less. Thank you.